The man on the train, who taught me to forgive my father. I used to hate train rides. Too long, too noisy, too full of people pretending not to notice each other. But last November, I took the train from my city to a smaller town for a job interview I wasn't even sure I wanted. I was running on barely any sleep, had just argued with my father over something stupid the night before, and honestly, I wasn't in the mood to talk to anyone. I sat next to a man in his 60s, gray hair, heavy brown coat, and a soft, tired expression. He had a newspaper folded in his lap, and a thermos of tea he kept sipping every few minutes, the kind of man you wouldn't normally notice in a crowd. I had headphones in and a book open, but he spoke anyway. "You visiting family?" he asked. I shook my head. "Job interview." "Ah, big job." I didn't know why I answered, but I did. "Honestly, I don't care. I'm just tired of arguing with my dad about my life. He still treats me like I'm 15. He nodded like he'd heard it 100 times. Maybe he had. "I used to fight with my son, too," he said quietly. I didn't ask, but he kept talking. We stopped talking for 5 years, over something I can't even remember now. I missed his graduation, his wedding, his first kid. That made me close the book. He smiled sadly. He sent me a photo of my granddaughter last month. That was the first message in years. And I sat there holding that phone, not knowing what to do. Can you believe that? I raised the boy, and I didn't know how to reply. "What did you say?" I didn't. Not for 2 days. Then I wrote one sentence. "She looks just like you did." He sent back a heart emoji. That was all. There was a pause. "And?" I asked. He shrugged. "And that's all we needed, I guess." He called me last week, said he'd like to talk more. I cried after that call. First time in decades. He looked out the window. I thought I was too late. Turns out it's never too late, not if someone decides to take the first step. The train rumbled. We didn't speak for a while. Then he said something that stuck with me, still echoes in my mind today. "You don't have to agree with your father, but try not to hate him for being a version of himself that might never change. Just be a version of you that can forgive." When I got off that train, I didn't know the man's name. We never exchanged numbers, and I've never seen him again. But I did call my father that night. We didn't talk about much, just how cold it had gotten, how Mom was doing, if I needed money for the trip. But I said something before we hung up. "I'm sorry I've been distant. I know you're trying, in your own way." There was silence. Then he said, "I don't always know how to talk to you. I still think you're my little kid sometimes." We both laughed, awkwardly. It wasn't a miracle moment. We didn't cry or say, "I love you," like in movies. But something changed after that. Something softened. I got the job, by the way. But more importantly, I let go of years of resentment. All because a stranger on a train reminded me that forgiveness doesn't need grand gestures, just quiet bravery. Moral of the story: you don't always get a second chance with people. But when you do, take it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you think they don't deserve it. Sometimes, you both just need one honest moment to begin again.